Room.
Back line.
All right.
We got the info on TCS here? Put in here.
Lots of room. Yeah.
It's all right.
Sorry.
Energy management and controls.
Really hard throwing that first draw.
Yeah.
It's like, where the heck is the weight?
Yeah. I got an 80 on that.
TCS provides affordable enterprise energy management, building controls, and installation services for building owners and commercial contractors.
The genius of simple. All right, so here we go. Sheet 4 today.
Do you want to throw a little weight?
I think so.
Ooh, we might be seeing something
Yes.
entertaining.
Okay. Think like hack.
That is
Sure.
a little weight.
Hack. Hey.
The hack weight is a
The
little
back
weight.
one's
It's
for
a
sure
weight.
going
It
with
is a
hack,
weight.
right?
And it's a little weight.
Yes.
The back one is for sure
More
going
of that
with
mediocre sense of weight.
Okay.
Right,
Yeah.
hack. Is it? I'm asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seem to have a disagreement on the ice.
Well, it gets loud out there.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to hear your teammate. You couldn't even hear me, and I'm sitting next to you.
I know, but that was a bad pair of earphones.
Hack.
Close.
Coming down that side.
Hack.
Looked tight coming out of his hand, but don't have a view from this end of the ice to see where that one's going.
It's going right there.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you, Seth. Great commentary as always.
Yeah.
Wait,
So
wait,
I just hung out a bit wide
You
and
meant
ticked
the
them
back
in
yellow,
as opposed
right,
to
the second one.
well, yeah,
pushing
we're not
them
gonna
out.
do the top one.
Yep, still sets up that shot for them to do that bump, but it looks like they're going to be taking that out on the red side.
Well, so now yellow has an opportunity to get a third one in there.
I think we're still seeing second shot.
Yeah.
They
On line a bit.
Okay.
Think here.
A hair heavy. Weight's close. Little tap.
Okay, we're definitely curling. Yep.
Weight's good. Line only.
Yep.
And that's a term we've been hearing a lot this afternoon.
line only.
Is it off? It's not bad, actually. I think that's pretty fine, actually.
Pretty good.
That's pretty good right there.
Behind the run.
Are we
We
second
can
shot?
play this, but it's gonna jam.
I can hear them.
Looks like yellow may
We're
be
second
sitting
shot, the run
2,
makes no
maybe
sense.
3 right now.
They're sitting 2
Okay.
for sure.
Well, I mean, like this, just a little tap.
Yeah. You just have
Sit
to
and
get
sit here.
inside.
I mean, even if they're sitting 1-2, it's not the worst.
Okay.
Could play up weight at it, but I don't like that.
Okay. What kind of weight? Back line?
Yeah, I think so.
You want me sweeping then?
On the red side of this, not really sure what those two in the top 4 there. And still sitting
Yeah,
the
I
one.
think we
They're
just jiggle these
they're in a
around
good spot,
little
yellow
bit.
is.
Give ourselves an
Yeah,
option on the next one.
back line for
Yeah.
red here seems
Can they run that yellow on the left now?
bare minimum.
Yeah.
Hard to get rid of, take that away.
Yeah.
Except in this.
You're really just trying to set yourself up for the last shot at that point.
Yep.
She took a little inside edge for his draw.
I think middle 12 for back line.
Middle 8?
Huh?
Middle 8?
Middle 8, yeah.
Lee's back line.
I'd like to thank
Line's
all of our
close.
listeners for bearing with us while we got everything
line's
settled
good.
during
Yeah,
this
Yep,
first
yep,
in.
yep.
We apologize for that.
Yep, hard! Yes! Real hard!
Oh, he's yelling
Yep!
and just ticked off of that guard. Again, this opens it up. Mixed
Well, that's
doubles. I mean, you sort of
not even
rely on
close
having
to
that
it.
guard out front like that, and so peeling it away, even accidentally,
Coming
is
like
pretty
here?
detrimental.
It
He
was-
yells
I think
next
it's
shot
either
like
that or
this.
we-
This is the
no, I like
possibility for him
that.
to split
It's that or we
those,
just tap
I
the
think.
one on the inside to the frozen.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't mind
Yeah,
this
you don't
at
want
all.
to sit right in the middle of
Nope.
those two. All you do is give them something to limit your score at that point.
Exactly.
Tee.
Yeah.
I like that. I like.
Maybe a
There's
little
T-weight
less.
split on both
Yep.
sides. They can only hit
Pick
one.
up.
I like T-weight crossing center here, pushing that one back.
Touch
Still,
pull on it.
you know,
Or a little
sitting
heavy.
3, but
They do have the possibility at
Mine's
4
okay.
if they do it right.
Weight's close. It's a little
Be
heavy.
very, very close if they could,
I wanna
though.
Keep an angle here.
I don't know. That red one's biting
Moving the
4. I
stone
don't know
a
how
little
they
bit.
do that.
Should be Not terrible, even if we crotch it.
No, it's not.
I think that's pretty good.
I think
You can go
that's really
solid 3 there.
I also think that's pretty good.
good. Perfect.
And that's lined up right now. I like
Yeah,
that a lot.
it's really lined up.
When in doubt, agree with the people on
Sitting
the
1,
ice.
2, 3.
Absolutely.
We could come into here.
That's
That
how we
was my
remain better
thought.
1,000 out here. You
That's
know?
announcing
Yeah.
101.
Come here.
I mean, otherwise we play this.
Yeah.
That's not really. They don't have a good. They have that angle, I guess.
They're just trying to get one in here, right?
Yeah, if we don't get there though, they just play this for
Yeah.
6. My
Well,
only thought is nose this.
sure.
This sits here, doubles. We sit here. And hopefully they don't get
6
3.
would be a
I think
perfect
that's the
score,
call.
Hey.
I don't
would
like
be.
leaving this
Well,
many.
we'll
which
sit
is more
here, but
likely
yeah.
than an 8.
Yeah, if you
and
sit
We
there,
did
it's
see a
pretty
6
good.
and
earlier
team
Even if they're
curling,
whiskers,
but-
Yeah, we did
it's
see a
not
6
bad.
earlier today.
Let me throw the
and
in.
oddly enough,
Okay.
that team came back to
Kind of
win.
weight.
They gave up the 6.
Gotta throw firm, don't I?
I gotta tell you, I've
Well,
had a
yeah.
6-point lead, and I've been under against a 6-point lead,
Yeah.
and come back and had been come back against. It's
It's a, you know what? This game ebbs and flows. You know, when we're dealing with the talent that we have here this weekend, that ebb and flow just happens on who's having a better day, realistically.
well, that's anywhere, anytime. I
Yep.
think.
Yep. So we're probably going to see some smashing here in a minute.
Coming out with a little speed,
Yeah.
a little push.
Whoa, close, close. Whoa, whoa, close. Yep, yep, yep,
It
yep,
must be
yep.
pretty close.
All right.
Must be real close.
Okay.
Still
Not
stuck
bad.
it with 3, it looks like.
Yeah, it's not ideal,
Nope.
but
Good throw. They're gonna get 4, but they have a shot at 4.
We're gonna be
Not
out
really
here.
much else. I just we think can do like there.
Oh,
this one will be a smidgen quicker than your other one, but I think just throw it like it's the first.
so it looks
LSP.
like just a full 8 for a 4th point here.
Yeah,
you
this
just gotta be
might
full
this
eight.
game might start
Real
off
good.
to a rocky
Yeah.
start for yellow.
Thanks.
Make sure you get it out there.
But with the swings in this game,
Definitely
especially
play
this version
Absolutely.
of the sport, it's
Again.
it's
Okay.
not.
Yep, we've
It's
seen
not a
someone,
death sentence.
We've seen someone come back from the 6-point end.
So we're there.
I know we're there.
It might check up. It's actually not bad.
Okay, well, line's great.
Weight's real
Mm-hmm.
close.
Looks hot still.
And coming in.
Really close.
They're saying it's hot.
Well, he's got backing in that back 8.
Yeah, nope.
Pretty
Looks
good.
like he's going to
Yeah.
hit that full 8. Probably
4.
4-ish. Yeah, look at that. That's perfection.
That is
Got 4 for
definitely
yellow there,
better
and-
than good enough.
We're going to go to the little advertisement from TCS. Thank you very much for watching the Madtown Doubledown, brought to you by Leinenkugels.
Yeah, we're going to try that again on the next end break. We got some audio difficulties continuing to be the theme.
Hey, we got a special guest with us. It's the Madison Curling
Yeah, I like
Club's
that.
ex-president, Adam Derringer.
Seemed like it was moving.
Well, hello.
Hey, thanks for joining us, Adam.
Well, you're welcome, Tim.
I'm going to do a little bit of commentary with us. See if he can understand what the mixed doubles is all about.
Commentatoring.
Commentatoring.
Commentator Ray?
I believe that's
Oh,
the
so
term
probably
for
have
it.
to go.
I mean,
Yeah.
Seth, either
wait
Seth
if
made
you
up a
do.
word or that's
go.
actually the word.
Wait real close.
Line's fine.
Plural? Or is that a
Not
singular
real.
term?
Yes.
More of a,
Wait
yes.
there.
Yeah. So you're right on both ends.
Maybe a little bit at the end I can go.
Hey, we got
no,
room.
we're there.
We got lots of room.
We are
So
there.
we're on sheet 4 here. I see a little bump in that one in the back here. Again, not optimal, but
Touch heavy.
Yeah.
Touch heavy.
yeah, a little bit heavy.
That's accurate.
Yep.
All right, top 4.
I think we're a little hot right now.
Okay, line's
Oh, it's actually
okay.
pretty
It's
good.
got room.
Actually, good weight.
Lots of room.
A little hot.
So, how have you been enjoying your time at the Madtown Doubledown so far?
I love
Like
the
back
Madtown
eight.
Doubledown. I've been
Hey.
able to volunteer the last couple years for the
Yep.
most part. A lot of times when you're volunteering, you don't get a chance to watch, but you get a chance to meet a lot of great people coming from all sorts of places. One of the best part of any type of bonspiel.
Oh, definitely.
Today I got a chance
we
to work the
freeze it
kitchen for
still.
3 or 4 hours.
Okay.
It's been a lot of fun. And so now I get to watch the game a little bit, so I appreciate you guys inviting me over.
No, absolutely. We
I-
love your.
Which I know all the participants greatly appreciate kitchen staff.
Absolutely. That's
Can
the hardest
never-
part of this
Yeah,
is
oh,
doing the
definitely.
kitchen staff stuff.
Plenty of room.
We're
You know,
just
Steve
about
Croy and Matt and myself might have, running the whole thing, but generally that kitchen is what makes or breaks this whole stuff. So we really, really appreciate it.
People need to be fed. It's not just food. There's beverages and other things, so you need to keep everybody
It's a team.
energized.
It's a
and-
team, yeah. Definitely takes a club to run something like this, and thank God we have the best volunteers.
You like the out?
It's a whole
what we
club
know
approach,
best,
man.
right?
You love the sport, but you love the people just as much. So when somebody
took a
runs an
little
event
less
like
than
this, you
I
want to
couldn't
support
roll
them
away.
as much as you want to support the sport. So, anybody listening, make sure you're volunteering with your clubs for their events as well.
Absolutely. Yes.
I
definitely.
love
Detrimental.
doing it.
Weight should be there. Yeah. Back 4.
Hey, bro.
Looking a little steamy coming in here right now.
A little hot.
Wow.
13.5.
I might sit down. Just trying to settle.
Coming
Just
down.
trying to
a
settle.
little.
There we go.
Come down
Right
real
in that,
nice.
right in
Yeah,
that
that's
tee
about
line.
perfect. Look at that.
Still hanging out a little bit though. It gives them a shot
Yeah,
double.
Just need less room.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might jam on those yellows here, buddy. You get that right shot, that might squeeze between the two.
Yeah, you hit it hard enough, they'll all go.
Yep.
Yeah.
The way am I throwing my outfit right now?
I like coming across nose on this with the draw, just kind of a cross nose though.
Yeah.
Sitting center line.
That's the next call.
Sure.
Could come top 4, I suppose.
Still gotta move.
Tiny
Line is
bump.
getting better though.
Tiny bump.
Hey, line's getting a lot better. It's all you.
Little bump. Just
Gotta curl
bumping
to
it.
touch.
Almost to it.
Shot looks pretty good. He's coming inside a little bit. It's probably going to chip and roll over just a touch.
Really good.
That's pretty good right there.
Yeah, you can't ask for much of a better shot. Hard to get that out of there.
We don't care if this
Just gonna have to
team
pick it.
jams back here.
Okay.
I think we play this
Okay.
that way.
Sure.
Honestly, even if we play this into that crotch, it's really good. I think we throw a peel into that crotch with like.
You think he's going to come in with a lot of
three,
heat on this one, just try to pick it out?
3/4?
Okay.
We're not backing, he's not helping us, so.
Yeah.
With that broom, probably, yeah. You could potentially knock that other yellow bite in the back 4 out too, kind of get both of those out.
Yeah, Elude is a shooter, but he's not gonna care if he gets rid of those yellows.
Ooh. Just outside.
Yeah, I kind of do.
Okay, I'm gonna.
That is an
You like just a touch
unfortunate
last night?
misstep right there.
Not a ton less.
I'll give you the same.
I'll try to throw you less weight than I did on the last
Okay,
one.
this is the same. I like it.
Especially being down by 4.
Yeah, you can't miss.
A little less.
Okay, we're definitely on a tighter line.
You can go a little bit. Weight's
Yep.
good.
Whoa,
Weight's
whoa, whoa,
good.
you're fine. Whoa, sorry.
Bump in like a foot.
Plenty weight.
Close.
Bumping a foot would be
Yep.
real nice right here.
Yeah, just pushing that back to the back so you'd be sitting front
Right
and
in
back
that
of 4.
pocket.
Yep.
Right in that pocket.
Perfect.
Yep. That's excellent.
Yep.
Hot.
Real tough to get those out of there
I
now.
guess.
We got to move those.
Yeah,
We could draw edge a button, I guess, but
good. Get one here. We might be able to tap it later.
That's not a bad call
You
there.
get one here. You might be able to tap it.
There's no good way to get rid of those front 2 yellows right now.
slash it.
No, I don't see it. You almost got to play a setup shot.
Maybe tap it.
Yeah, I mean, your only way in
They
there
have
is
this
to
then.
try to throw a heater around the world off the back yellow-red.
It's okay to be narrow.
I hope they hit their Wheaties.
We did time a 6.5-second peel in the last game.
We did.
Not on this team, but I'm sure they can probably muster that weight if they need to.
And probably still hit that shot as well.
I'd like to see it. Oh, yeah, that's the broom.
Need a straight take into this thing.
Wow, this
There's not going to
is-
be a lot of leeway on this.
They're trying to just hit that barely across nose.
Mm-hmm.
To pop
Yeah, a
that.
ton of weight.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's good. Here it comes.
Well,
Decent outcome from yellow, I would
That's
say.
not
on that.
so bad
Yeah.
at
Not
all.
so bad. They push that yellow back. There's everything's behind the tee line, though.
Okay, I'm just thinking about it for a second. I mean, the only way they can score, but it's probably
Yellow's only sitting 1.
Right.
It's way better than it was previously.
I mean, there's some pro
Yellow
sides
needs to
there.
do something real good here to.
No, I mean, if you like that side, let's do it.
It's
My
going to be
first
really
thought-
hard to
That's my
cover
last
that.
shot.
You know,
You
you
can't
can come
go,
around
like-
and sit on that
Well, you can go here.
yellow now that's
Yeah, from
behind the
light.
tee.
So they could just stuff
from
it in and
either
even if they
side.
make the double except for one.
I mean, I
Right.
feel
We just
like
gotta make sure the line's not terrible, right?
Okay.
a dead
I was
nose
giving
freeze
yours here.
wouldn't be too bad.
I think I
mean,
can take
what's,
just a touch less because yours is.
what are they going to do at that point?
Dead nose
that's
freeze
fine.
on that.
We just threw it on your first one.
It will give them shot. It looks like it's a little bit off of that
Freeze
center
to it is
line
Well,
there, too.
they'd be
So.
sitting
For
2.
short, that's fine.
Yep.
We just don't want to be heavy.
Yeah.
And then if red
It
hits,
gives red not a
I
whole
think
lot of
it's
options.
if
to move
red
from the
hits
front of
that,
Very
all they're
quick
doing
here.
is jamming back on that back.
The only
red.
thing
They're
is
still
you
getting-
get,
supposedly
they would
quicker
still
than
have to
the
be
other
on
one,
the
so-
nose of
Yeah, I
that
felt like
thing or
my
top
first one,
corner of
I-
that
Yeah.
in order to stick around.
They're pretty hot.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad. Like, it made sense.
I like
I feel,
the freeze.
yeah, dead nose
Sure,
freeze.
that's good.
Otherwise, a hair short would.
That wouldn't
Gotta
be a bad
give you
idea either.
we'll
Anything to
leave it
make them
short
have
if
to
it's-
play
if it's
around it.
hanging, though, right?
Right. If it's hanging, just leave it short. I'll
Yep.
ditch.
So let me know.
There you go.
Real good.
If it's hanging, leave it short.
Here we go.
It's always nice when they agree with.
Yeah, with the announcers, it's it's less frustrating for us, really.
Right. See, we were right. We
Yeah.
know what we're talking about.
100,000% behind
I gotta
behind the
go.
glass.
Slow then.
Not bad, but
We're never wrong.
Mine's fine.
They just didn't do what we
said.
said.
Exactly.
it's a little light.
Yeah, it's probably gonna leave us a
yeah.
little bit short, but
It's
hey,
definitely short. It's a guard.
yeah, he's coming in a little further than they wanted to.
Good. Fine.
That's
Right
not
line,
bad at
sure.
all.
Yeah, just light.
I'd almost come around the other side now and just try to freeze
They
down
just have
onto
to
the
drop
yellow.
one, so it's pretty good.
That's the shot for
For
red.
red, that's
Can I
still
even
there,
get
yes.
to the-
Yeah, you got to draw the pin.
Yep.
You can.
Yellow's
There's-
willing to give it. Yellow's up 4.
Yep, well,
so
we're sitting at hammer
yeah.
right now, so
A force is a win all day for yellow.
3/4.
red lets this go.
About that.
We're seeing a different game at 5-0.
Back 4. Back button.
T-line, exactly. Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of the button, so we got to play right T-line.
Okay.
There's nothing to bump.
Apparently, in the last draw, the Hamiltons did go down 3-0 after 2 and still came back to win that game.
They
that was an
did.
amazing game with some incredible shots at the end.
wasn't able to focus on that game much. We were
we
commentating
had,
a different game.
Sheet number
but-
3 going on at that point in time. So
So,
I'm
I mean,
going to
it
see
is-
this red come down here really quick and see if...
Oh, it's way
Oh,
short.
boy.
Yeah,
they
that's not
gotta
going
go
to come in
short.
there.
You gotta hurry hard. They're trying.
Might sneak past that, but I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Right to it. Right to it.
Oh, what a
nice shot.
Oh,
huge.
they got it.
That is a
They got
pistol.
it.
That's a pistol right there.
I would also like to make mention of the teamwork that happened with that, but also I'd like to point out that we are going to one quick ad for TCS Video, one of our sheet sponsors, and we'd like to appreciate. Enjoy.
Controls and energy management systems for commercial buildings. And with our new Wi-Fi Ubiquitous set, you will save time and money on both commissioning and installation costs. To find out more, just give us a call. It's the genius of simple.
And it looks like we're back. Again, thank you so much to TCS for their sheet sponsorship for this event. This is the Madtown Doubledown, brought to you by Leinenkugels out in Madison, Wisconsin. Thank you all for viewing this. I'm going to show you a couple more sponsors here. Again, after you watch that ad, TCS, one of our sponsors for the sheets.
A little hot right now. Back 8.
The Bears
Back
Tapora
8.
team is
Back 8.
sponsored by Maple Tree Supper Club.
Yep.
Outstanding food at the Maple Tree.
Absolutely. We were talking about that earlier. as
Excellent
well.
steak. I love their potatoes.
Back line-ish.
So the McCowan and Nickel team is sponsored by Rockland Filmworks.
What's
back,
that?
back line-ish.
Okay. Sorry. Curls though. I didn't think I said. Oh, it is. Got it started.
And a big thanks to all of our other sponsors that are helping us out here. Without you, it would not be possible to do this.
T-line almost.
Line's fine.
T-line. We're pretty deep.
Okay.
I think that's a shot they were hoping for, being
That's terrible.
back of the house there.
No, that's not. It seems like neither team really started this end how they would have preferred.
Where do you like?
3 guard.
Hitting your center guard
Okay.
to
or
side 12
freeze.
is generally not what you're
Could also
trying to
come
do.
under.
No, it's unfortunate,
I don't mind
but that's the sport.
Split out there.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, we might be getting a special guest here. Johnny Moe.
What's happening?
We have you put on a pair of headphones here.
Okay. Room. Play the straight freeze then. Yep.
I just had to fill up my
Where are we? Yep.
Leinenkugels first.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, they believe that's one of our sponsors.
Oh yeah, delicious beer.
Yep, right to it.
That's
Thanks,
the only.
John.
That's the only reason we
then.
come here.
Well then.
It's for the Leinenkugels beer.
Leinenkugel, yeah.
Not bad.
So Johnny, thanks for joining us. How's your weekend been going?
Fantastic.
I'm taking
Yeah,
away-
we've
I'm-
had a good
I don't know what
few
lines we're
games, and
picking, but we're gonna
the
get
only
really
difference
different
this year
results.
is we weren't
Mine is
able to go
getting
to a
dead straight.
Badgers game
Yours
this
are
afternoon.
curled.
That was they are on the bye week
I
this
was
week.
pretty
Yeah,
choked.
They are on the bye week.
Instead, I was watching a
that
couple college games on
barely
TV, but I really enjoyed going to that Badger game
Yeah,
last
yeah.
year. It was fun.
Camp Randall's an amazing place. It's a lot of fun to be able to hang out, even if you're not in the game. Just an outstanding atmosphere.
Good, real
in
good
Madison.
atmosphere.
Yeah, in Canada. We get like even our professional football games maybe get 15,000. So you guys get more fans to your college games. So it's just kind of something cool that we don't get to experience up there.
And to be fair, we still pull a lot of people from the CFL into
Yeah.
the NFL too. So.
Yeah, true that. Yeah. So what game we covering here?
You got sheet 4 going on right now.
All right.
It's Bears Tapera versus Nickel McCown.
Okay, that's a B game.
I believe it's a B game. Yes.
Okay. 4-1, eh?
John, you keep talking like that. I'm just gonna have to give you a hug.
All right.
Say hack
Sure.
again.
Hot, yeah. No, I had to get a few A's in there,
Heard the A.
True to my Canadian roots.
Oh.
They
You
won
got to be
too?
true to yourself.
Yeah.
No, they're one.
Yeah, you guys have a great event here. You know, I think you can tell that you got a great event because last year you had 18 and 22 teams, I think, in the two fields, and this year they're both full. And you know, the word spreads on tour when you host good event, like when there's good tour events, because we all talk and you know, we all want to go to these good events. So we spread the word after last year, and it seems like a great turnout this year. So I'm happy, good to see that.
Yeah, no, thank you so much again for coming down. Yeah, we actually had filled up by about the end of September on both ends of the club version and the competitive side of this. And then for those of you that aren't really aware of what the Madtown Doubledown is, it's actually two spiels combined into one. We do a competitive side spiel, which you'll see a lot of the ones that we're going to be broadcasting on the stream, and there's also a club side that's happening at the same time. So sheets 1 and 2, and I think we got another one going on 4 that are club side.
Which is a fantastic opportunity for club level curlers to maybe not compete against, but to compete alongside of people that they see on YouTube and
on
and
TV,
other,
just on Curling Night in America. I mean,
we've got people out there curling next to Olympians that have been curling for 4 years. So that's a unique experience to be able to do, and I'm not aware of any other.
The club level curlers have been curling for 4 years. The Olympians have been curling for far longer.
I also feel like it shows just how much this sport has been growing too, because we just started our mixed doubles campaign maybe 4 years ago, something like that, and then here we are having this. It's in the Olympics now, and
I think there's at the Worlds last year there was 48 teams at the Worlds, and
that's an impressive amount.
I think there's actually 10 more countries that play mixed doubles curling than actually play men's or women's curling. So the sport of mixed doubles actually has caught on more internationally than the sport of men's or women's curling.
Why do you think that is? Is it it's a shorter game, or draws the attention, or?
I think for the most part, it's in today's day and age, I don't think a lot of people want to play a sport for 3 hours. You know, like you look at a sport like cricket. The traditional game of cricket is a day or over a couple days, right? But it's a great sport. It's very popular around the world. Maybe not so much in North America. I was just over in Scotland, and they've changed the game of. They have a new game of cricket called the E20 or something like that, where it's only a few hour game, and it makes it a lot better for TV and for fans to go attend because don't have to commit 2 days.
Sure.
So they're adapting sports all around the world more to today's generation, which is not committing hours on end.
Quicker, faster pace of play, that sort of thing.
Like the same way I throw my
you can see things like that. Like if you watch MLB baseball, like they're definitely going that thing. You need to keep this game going because if you were to play 9 innings at the pace that we're used to playing, it's 2.5, 3 hour game.
Yeah, well, that's what they're aiming for. They're going to 4 and 5.
I mean those are days that you're doing laundry all day long just to listen to that in the background. I'd rather watch curling and actually pay attention to it. That's
Yeah, and it's sure nice from a player that's played the traditional game of curling for many years, 10 ends, and I love the fact that I have a short attention span to begin with, so to be able to curl for an hour and a half, really. The other thing I love about mixed doubles is the best defense is a good offense. Like when you get up a few points, you can't run and hide. You're not peeling guards.
You got to maintain aggressiveness.
Keep the foot on the gas the whole time.
I love that aspect because it also shows more shot making rather than
absolutely. We've definitely seen a bunch out of you this weekend too. As far as shot making is concerned.
Yeah, we've I think my partner and I have had a few lucky shots there, but it's a testament to the good ice you guys.
Absolutely. Hey, John, while we got you here, and I know that we've met briefly last year for the spiel for this time around, and a little bit this weekend as well. How did you get into curling?
Hard.
Was this obviously from Canada, so it's more of an ingrained thing with the society than it is in America as well. But what's your story with this?
What got me started was my parents, especially my dad, was big into sports, and I have 2 sisters, and when we're growing up, he got us into a lot of sports, and he introduced us to. He was a curler himself growing up. He learned to curl from his great-grandfather. He never met his dad, but his great-grandfather was in the Briar in 1934.
Oh.
And then he taught my dad how to curl. And my dad went to Three Briars and obviously loved the game. And but my dad was we always had a
back 8 last one. And
philosophy in our family. Is,
touch it,
as
so
long
you
as you're playing sports and
gotta
being
know
active, that's a good thing. So he introduced us to hockey, to baseball. He was a coach of ours.
You still strike me as someone that could still be really good at hockey.
I was okay. I was a skinny kid, so I didn't fill out till late. So actually, it's funny. So I curled and played hockey in the winters in Canada. But this is what happened. What really got me hooked on curling was one weekend when I was about 15. My dad had me in a curling bonspiel, junior bonspiel, and also a hockey tournament. So I remember leaving after the second period of hockey game.
I got to guess.
And he was racing. He was racing over to this curling game, and we almost got in an accident on the way. It was like really bad roads, and so it was at that point when we almost crashed. He said, "John, you got to choose. We can't do both now. It's just too much." And at the time, I was a better curler. And I said, "Okay, well, I'll stick with curling." And I think that kind of made his day because he was a curler, as well. And then I never looked back. I just kept curling, and it was tough though because in high school I had all my buddies that played hockey, and I'm like the only curler. And and I used to go away and go on these curling bonspiels, and I'm like, man, I'd miss out on like high school parties and some really good times in high school because I'm out away curling, and I'm like, man, I better do something with this sport one day because if I don't, I'm going to totally regret.
To be fair, last year you were essentially the person that sort of made this spiel come together in a way. Like a lot of the competitive things, you guys as competitive curlers generally have your own sort of time frame on how you do things. It's a very professional sense because you need to be prepared for the game. Like these games matter to you guys, right?
Oh yeah.
And so to be in and do that, and then I think last year was the year you're like, nope, I'm going to sing karaoke with these guys, and I'm going to get all these people to sing karaoke with us. So you definitely helped as far as making this.
Well, that's a true bonspiel. I grew up in the days of bonspieling. And bonspieling was, I learned from like Al Hackner.
Can't go off though. You gotta be on it.
No, we know Al. We know Al. He actually, if I want to plug this a little bit, he has a thing on Netflix. It's the Losers thing. But listening to his story on that is so amazing.
It's real cool.
It's a very curler story.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what? Like I gotta say, that's who I really looked up to growing up. Like guys like Al Hackner, Neil Harrison, Ed Wernick, Wayne Madaw, and I grew up in an era where bonspieling was, you go out and curl and you curl your butt off and you want to kick your butt of whoever you're playing.
Sure.
But you also have you have a beer and you have a good time.
You're social and you're friendly and you meet good people
and I gotta say the game has lost a little bit of that, and it's something that it's tough to see because I think that's one of the best things about curling for me was being able to meet so many great people around the world. And to have it, I look forward just as much to the social aspect of curling as I do of the on-ice stuff. It kind of goes hand in hand, right? So that's why when, seeing what you guys do here where you kind of promote the social aspect here and also have a karaoke night on Saturday night. And, I think that's awesome. And we're going to go out for supper club tonight to Toby's.
Speaking of one of our sponsors.
Another sponsor.
Well, we got the night off, so we got to go do a traditional Wisconsin thing.
Probably the best fried chicken you're ever going to find anywhere.
So if I can tell you a little backstory on that. So the lease, when that place was sold, the building itself and all the equipment that was in it, part of the equipment requirement was that they had to keep their cast iron pans there so that they can continue to cook fried chicken.
All right. Cool. Well, I guess we'll have to try some fried chicken tonight, eh?
That's the fried chicken is what you need to go for, actually.
And then we're gonna come back. We're scheduling this, so we're actually going with Catlin and Shannon. They're playing out there right now, and Oscar and Anna from Sweden.
Yeah.
So they've never been to a supper club, so we're taking a supper club.
It's going to be definitely an interesting experience for them, I think. So remember to get them some brandy old fashions, though. That's what we do here.
That sounds dicey.
And they do them very well over at Toby's Supper Club.
Talk to Tony.
Oh, yeah.
Tony
is the guy.
Okay, the only time I've ever even heard of brandy was like my grandma used to drink brandy. So they make brandy old-fashioned.
So Wisconsin drinks more brandy than the rest of the U.S. combined.
So I'm actually a geographer, and I did a study on this in college because, when you're an alcoholic state like Wisconsin is, you study alcohol in college, and so Wisconsin drinks 97% of all brandy in the United States.
You know what? That makes sense. Old fashions are fantastic.
And it's all going to old fashions. But I'd like to say that's 3.5 bottles of brandy per man, woman, and child in the state. That's the per capita intake of brandy.
Yeah, we try.
I thought you guys only drank Spotted Cow and Leinenkugels.
Nope.
No.
We definitely have that Leinenkugels in us, though. That's for sure.
I might try a brandy old fashioned.
You absolutely
have
should
to try it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll do it because I'm in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So
now I got to give you a backup,
And that's the only place you're going to be able to order one, probably.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, the only people that even have it because we drink it all here. If somebody needs fish, they have bluegill, and bluegill is kind of a unique thing to the Midwest.
I think they only have that on Friday, though.
Most of the time.
Okay.
I love fish. I would love to try. And bluegill I've never even heard of in Canada. So
Yeah.
It's a pan fish.
It's a pan-fried fish. It's about your hand size.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
Matty Hamilton swears by the bluegill. He says
He
it's the
certainly
best fish
does.
going on.
It's what I order. It's because I can get it there. Those are the two best things you're ever going to find on a
Really?
menu anywhere. It's their bluegill
All right.
and their pan-fried chicken.
Okay, I really hope they have that tonight too.
Let me get some quick sponsor shout-outs here. We got the Madtown Doubledown done by Leinenkugels. Again, thank you so much for your sponsorships. The sheet sponsor here is TCS.
Oh, that's a brilliant shot there just while he's shouting out our sponsors.
Nice throw. Okay, I'm.
Like 9-5.
And then we'll be back here tonight for
Yeah.
some karaoke.
Well, we're waiting for it.
All right.
you
And I
know?
think we'll even try to persuade the Swedes and the Norwegians. To,
Norwegians even.
Yeah. See if they.
I'd
can
love
do
to
it.
see them do some karaoke
All right,
tonight.
I'll see
Absolutely.
if I can twist their arm.
Try to remember my grandfather's Norwegian songs. I'll start singing one of those for karaoke.
I'm expecting them to probably pull out some songs that we know and are surprised
Sure.
about.
Sure.
I think the Swedes are probably going to rock a little ABBA. You know?
Yeah, I mean that just seems right.
I don't know any Norwegian.
Two on the nose?
Wasn't Europe from there too? The band Europe?
No, I'm not sure. I don't know any bands from Europe, from Norway.
Roll it out too. It's fine.
So you
I think
guys
we
know.
There's a
may-
lot of
we may
death
find
metal
something
bands
nice.
from Norway.
Yeah, we may find something.
There's a
there.
few.
So Johnny, if we can get back to the curling
Yeah.
if I can ask you too, since your dad was a longtime curler, and obviously you come from a family of curlers as well, right? Did they ever have the level of success that you did? I mean, because you're coming off of a gold medal from last year, and if not, what do you think that they think of it now, or what is their interpretation of seeing you in this aspect of you're essentially the best at mixed doubles curling?
Well, you know, I wouldn't. There's a lot of great mixed doubles curlers out there. I don't know if I'd be the best.
Well, you were the best for that 2-week span of
Yeah,
the Olympics, then I
you
guess
betcha.
if you want to put it that way.
Thanks. But you know, my family's always been very supportive. You know, they've never really tried to steer me to do one specific sport, or you know, they've just been always very supportive. I'm a pretty unique fella. I've always had different I do things a little differently, and you know, they're always very supportive of me and my career, whether it was pursuing firefighting or you know, just playing the sport I love to play, and you know, they've been always just very supportive. So I think it meant a lot to have them there, both in Vancouver in 2010 when we won, and also they were over in Pyeongchang. It was hard to get family or friends over to Pyeongchang because it was really expensive.
Yeah.
It was like, probably you got to budget about $5,000 a person
Go away. I don't mind
if you wanted
rolling.
to go over and
Yeah, I
watch
don't
the
mind a
Olympics
little
there
roll,
over in Korea. So it was tough.
Yeah, I know we had a
you can roll
big
under that,
spaghetti
though.
dinner here to try to raise funds to send family.
That line was out the door.
Yeah.
Like,
It wasn't just out the door; it was out the
It was
building.
like around the building, yeah.
You know what? That's why I love coming to support these smaller town events in Madison like this, because you know, like, first of all, the local curling community and you know, the town come out and support it, and it's a better feel. You get that real nice community vibe. You know, I know that there's a lot of volunteers in the kitchen this weekend. They've been cooking up some great food, and it's much prefer coming to an event like this than a big event like in Toronto or you know, like bigger cities where it kind of gets lost in the shuffle.
Sure,
right?
sure.
So there's a lot of appeal to these small events for someone like me who has been to a few of them and really you know, it's a better vibe.
Yeah, absolutely, and we absolutely appreciate everything that done for us as far as the spiel is concerned.
We just got to show up and curl and have a good time. That's easy to do.
Yeah.
So.
And you were saying like the old school curling bonspiel feeling, like Wisconsin tries to keep that alive, I think, pretty hard.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of club aspect to it. That's definitely what we try to keep around.
Every club that exists in Wisconsin is still a club-run event. They're all volunteer. There's not a business or a city that owns one of our clubs. They're all run by volunteers or the volunteer board. They're amazing experiences with amazing people. And it leads to the experiences where I actually remember kind of singing karaoke with you last year.
Yeah, well, you know what? I tend to think of Madison and Wisconsin as, I call it the Saskatchewan of the States. Because in Canada, and if there's anyone listening from Canada here, like a lot of my best friends are from Saskatchewan. They're just really down-to-earth, great people, and I feel like Madison and Wisconsin's like that. So, that's what, when I was first here a few years ago, that's kind of the feel I got, and that's why, if this was in New York City, I don't know if we'd be coming, but if it's in Madison, and we love supporting small towns, especially when there's some good, genuine, quality people going. So
we appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So do you guys curl too, or what?
No.
Oh, yeah.
No, I just pick this up on the weekends. No,
he just loves the
He's
mic
a
jockey.
professional curler announcer.
They must be paying you the big bucks.
I wish I was getting paid for this, especially when we were just talking about the volunteer stuff. I wish I was getting paid the big bucks to be putting this stuff on.
Well, who knows? Maybe Curl TV or TSN or NBC might be calling after this.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm. All right, so sheet 4 looks like it may be done.
Yeah, we had early handshakes there, but
Yes,
I'm not too surprised based on what happened.
So we can go to sheet 3 or 2, or what are we doing?
What sheet do we want to go to, Joel?
All right, that's
We're going
my
to sheet
buddies.
3
All right, back over to
That's my
sheet 3.
buddies.
All right.
This is
We got Peterson and
Burchard and
Burchard. Wait, and
Burchard
Polo.
and
Yeah,
Schneider.
Peterson and Polo and Burchard and Schneider. Yeah.
And it's this is like a pretty marquee matchup for a C game, because you'd expect these guys to maybe be playing in the playoffs or an A or a B game, but to be playing when you're 3 back in the C, 2 quality teams.
It's tough.
Like this.
It's tough.
I think that's a nod to the competition that's actually here.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
Feels fantastic here this year.
So-
I would say this is a top 3 mixed doubles field in the world for World Curling Tour events this year.
Wow.
Is this event?
Wow.
So it's that's sure. I think after last year they added about 4 or 5 really quality teams. Like that Norwegian team came this year.
Yep.
The world champions from Sweden came, and a few more American teams are here. And it's we want the competition. We want to play. And for us competing, it's nice when you're if you do well in these events, you get more points because you're playing against tougher strength of field, right? So. Yeah, all in all, it's a good thing. And
Can you do me a favor? Because you understand this a lot better than probably at least me. I've been curling for like 10 years, and I've never curled in competitive circuit at all before. How does the point system work? Why is this important for them to be playing in?
Well, it's interesting because we're just finalizing a really structured point process. But for the most part, how it works is the better you do in events, the more points you get, and the tougher events that you're in, the more points you get.
It's kind of weighted.
Would this be one that's weighted pretty heavily?
Yeah, this would be because, if you look at the top 20 teams in the world for mixed doubles, I would say you have 10 of them here, which is pretty high.
That's okay.
You have about half them here, which is a really good number. And the only events I would say would be as good, if not better, would be we have 2 events in Canada that are in Portage and in Banff that are really high strength of field. But the importance. Light.
We're going for refill right now. Don't listen to Johnny over here.
Leinenkugel light.
October.
Yeah, same.
So, essentially it's important to get points in these events for all the players because it helps you qualify for, like for example, in the States, if you do well in these events, you get more points, and then you can qualify for nationals.
Okay.
Same thing in Canada. We have a point system that if you are top 3, then you can get more funding, and that allows you to take a bit more time off work and dedicate.
Because the Canadian curling system works a little bit different than America in that aspect, right?
Yeah, but that's what we're trying to do. Is we're trying to, like, if you look at the men's and women's right now, they have something called the Order of Merit.
Okay.
Which is what pretty much what the whole world follows. And that's we're just. It was actually supposed to be released this weekend. Is essentially like the Order of Merit for mixed doubles curling rankings. Jerry Gertz has been working hard on it. We actually got together with about 10 other countries at the end of last year.
So this is a very new thing in that mixed doubles in itself, compared to actual curling, is it's a new sport essentially.
Yeah, it's a in the sport world and in the curling world, mixed doubles is still pretty green.
So we're still trying to come up with the rules and stuff that we need to do.
Yeah, and for the most part, what has gone on before is there's been a somewhat a system that was that the World Curling Tour had, but it was lacking in a few areas, and that's why all the players were like, "Hey, we got to get our shit together and let's."
That's a nice shot right there for him. Yeah, nice draw right back down to red.
So essentially, that's where the players were concerned because there wasn't anything structured. So we worked really hard getting our poop in a group and making sure that there was about probably the 10 big countries in the world for mixed doubles got together and were like, hey, we got to put together a proposal that we can submit to the World Curling Tour. So we did that this summer, and the World Curling Tour is on the cusp of releasing that, which is great because that's what we need to. One of the reasons that's important is because, so for a spiel like this, first of all, the reason that's important is for a spiel like this. One of the challenges is when you pre-rank the teams. So when you pre-rank the teams in the event, it's really hard to pre-rank all the teams because you don't have a set system. So here's a great example. You have Anna Hasselberg and Oscar Eriksson, who are they just won the World Championships. They're 2 fantastic curlers, but because there's not a structured system yet, they don't have a set. They're probably ranked, maybe 5th or 6th coming into this. So what we're trying to do is make sure that we have a set system so that it's fair for all the teams, and it also gives the organizers some guidance, so that it's just not randomly making a draw.
Yep.
And more like seeding in tennis or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're actually using great analogy there because we're actually using the World Curling Tennis, the WCTA or whatever that is, or WTA, as a benchmark for how we rank mixed doubles, because they have a league in tennis. It's a doubles league, and essentially what they do is they have team rankings, but they also have individual rankings, which is kind of what we're moving towards a little bit as well. So then, if you get
a new partner,
you betcha, you still carry your points, and then what they take, if you have a spare partner for the weekend, they still take 50% of those points, and they bring it back to their team, which is what we really want to work towards.
That's really interesting. I have another question about when it comes to this stuff as well. So from this event comes automatic qualification for a lot of things. Does that, while you're playing on tours like this, does that hang in your mind as something you need to play against, like when it gets closer to that point in time for you, or is that it's nothing you can deal with? It's not.
I think it's.
Is that?
I think
that
it's
question
something.
Makes sense.
It's great question, because I think it's something that's why a lot of the teams will sign up. Okay, it's like, okay, we want to play in Madison because it's a great field where there's lots of points at stake, and it can possibly qualify us for nationals. But once you're in the event, I think if you have good mental discipline, you've got we don't think of the outcome.
You wouldn't say you would play the same.
You play each game.
And if you're thinking every game, oh my God, I need points,
you're going to lose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't want to think of the result stuff. You want to think of process stuff, right? So if teams are thinking that's the teams that I think might have trouble staying focused on the task at hand.
So and that's where, with the experience that you have, you're probably better able to compartmentalize some of that, where you're able to be like, all right, I'm in the game, I got to do what I got to do, and kind of put some of that away. Whereas sometimes the younger curlers have a little bit more difficulty kind of doing that.
Yeah, and I've been lucky. I've had some, some mental training throughout my career, and I'm able to work with a few great sports psychologists, and I've, that's something I learned throughout playing on tour for 20 years. Right? You don't worry about chasing points too. You just go there and you play well. You go play well. Worry about winning each game at a time, and guess what? The points will accumulate.
Right.
And if you're really thinking of chasing points, I think that's when sometimes it can be quite a challenge, and you find yourself like you're always trying to play catch up.
At some point, you just got to play the game.
You betcha. Right. Yeah. So it looks like
we had a couple of games here that just got out of hand for actually both teams in red.
Yeah, they must be not a lot of barn burners out here. They must be thirsty for some Leinenkugels. Yeah. They want to get off the early.
They must be. Also, they might be hungry.
I smell that.
For some Maple Tree Supper Club.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they might be.
Well, yeah. We're actually, we're going there after the game, so we'll see what.
Nice. We're also going to hit up another team sponsor here from Rockland Filmworks. And I got a little write-up on them here.
If he can remember the passcode
to his phone. Yeah, if only I can remember the passcode to my actual phone here. Shop for artwork based on themed collections. Each image may be purchased as a canvas print, fame print, metal print, and more. Every purchase comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So that sort of stuff, go to Rockland Filmworks. Again, you're watching the Madtown Doubledown, brought to you by Leinenkugels, and we're sitting here with Johnny Moe. 2-time gold medalist, at least that I know of. Do you have more gold medals in your back pocket there? Or?
That's all I got.
That's all
I'm
you
not
got.
sure if I'm going to make it to another one. I got a young family now, and just not.
How do you? Okay, so here's a big question of mine, and essentially, since
is it balance?
It is. Yeah. How do you work on the balance of that? Even just being a club curler myself, and I curl 3 nights a week, I find it still hard to do that balance. How do you do it in the professional or the competitive level like this?
Well, you know what, I don't know if I could have done it when I was 25 or 30, because I was playing on the road, I was competing, grinding on tour, and it is tough to have a relationship when you're on the road a lot, because it's just hard to really. A lot of people don't like that, and they have to have a very independent partner that understands sport and understands what you're trying to achieve, and they're kind of few and far between out there. So, I was
great shot
at this stage in my. I met my wife 3 years ago, and it was at that time where I was like, okay, I'm finally at the stage where I'm like, I think I'm ready to slow down a bit.
Yeah.
And
have you really slowed down though?
Oh yeah, I'm only playing about half the time.
Okay.
I used to play, especially the way women's and men's are now. You're
every weekend almost, right?
15 weekends. I remember my last few years. It was playing with Kevin Martin there. We were in a hotel out of 365 days a year. We were probably in a hotel over 100.
Yeah, we generally call this the hotel season.
Yeah.
You go through your full-time job and then you spend the weekend in a hotel.
So I don't miss that. So that's why the last few years I've kind of focused on being home more, and I've always, you never know until you have them, I guess. But I've really loved having. We have a baby boy, Jack, who's about 18 months now, and we have another one.
Congratulations on that! Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, and we got another one due in December.
Oh goodness, this is coming right up.
Yeah, and it's funny. My
wife is
very patient because I'm away 20 out of 30 days in November, but. So December, I planned it accordingly because December I'm home every day.
Perfect.
To make sure that.
Yeah.
But it's we've had some good family support. Her mom's coming to visit, and but it's just I don't know if I could have done that. I know curlers have done that. Like Kevin Martin, for example, he had a family and kids when he was late 20s, early 30s.
Everybody's different.
And his wife was very supportive, and they made it work really well. I don't know if it would have been really tough for me to have a family, middle of my men's career, because I just was away so much, and I would have really missed being around for my kids. And I love being home with Jack now, and being able to take him swimming and being able to like be there for him. And I wouldn't have been able to do that if I was playing on tour so much. So.
Yeah. Can I ask you too? I'm sorry, I'm full of questions for you,
Sure.
but while we got you here, I want to get
All
as much
good,
out of you
man.
as I absolutely
You
can.
betcha. Fire away.
So your lead up until the last Olympics, 2018 Olympics, what was the process that you had to go through in order to get there?
Well, it was quite wild and crazy and chaotic, I'd say, because it was the first year mixed doubles was in the Olympics. So I don't know if
no one really knew what to expect.
No, it was unprecedented for us to be able to, and especially because they split it up too.
Well,
so they had mixed doubles first that happened, and then they had the team curling going on, sort of in the background, and then finalizing
the
out.
other reason it was chaotic is because my partner was Rachel Holman.
Yeah.
And then Rachel and I'd played with her for 2 years, and we had our record in mixed doubles was like 35-2. We were on fire.
Yeah.
She's kind of insane.
Yes,
when she makes shots that most people wouldn't even look at.
And I grew up playing with her brother, so we had some family history there.
All right.
And I really enjoyed playing with Rachel. But what happened was she wins the women's, and they have a different rule that they have in Canada than they do in the U.S. Because you saw Hamiltons were able to play both,
Together.
right?
Yep.
Both of them played both.
Yeah, and then in Canada you can't. So it was
That's fair,
really. So I lose my partner 1 month before the Olympic trials for mixed doubles.
Oh, no.
And I was just really fortunate that Caitlin Laws was available because she's obviously a fantastic curler.
She was your partner last year too, in this. Yep, and she was fantastic. You guys did very well in that.
Oh, she's a really good curler, and as I said, I was really lucky that she was available because she was probably, between her and Rachel, it's like, I would say for shot making and sweep, they're probably 1A and 1B. They're both really good shot makers in Canada.
But it's a personality game. So how do you make that switch so close to a tournament?
Well, Laz has more practice sweeping at least, right?
Yeah, she does. And I gotta say, for
I mean,
a gal
no
that's like
disc,
100
but
pounds,
straight up. Like
she was. This is what I was amazed with. And if you watch the Olympics, we were still really learning about each other and our team as we went on, because I was sweeping everything to start the Olympics, and I had a bit of a shoulder injury, so it was tough for me to. So Caitlin was like, "Hey, I can sweep," and I'm like, "Caitlin, I'm 200 pounds, you're 100 pounds. I should probably be sweeping." And she said, I can sweep. And I'm like, okay. So a few games, especially when we got up a little bit, she would sweep, and I would be like, man, she's really holding that rock.
Yep.
Yeah,
She's got a really good form, and for being, she's a pretty petite gal. She can really scrub, and I was really impressed at. So as we went on through the Olympics, she actually started sweeping more and more, and we gained that mutual trust in each other, and we also found that one person in the house being able to call line was quite beneficial.
So there's also been that sort of distinction of whether you do the someone pointing out your shot or someone just you pointing out the shot of generally where you're going to be aiming at and then them sweeping it. With those, I've always kind of gone back and forth and wondered which one is actually more efficient at that. And
I've seen people switch in the different draws here.
Yeah.
They'll do on certain shots, they'll sweep. On certain shots, they'll call line.
Sure.
It's a lot of personal preference. Like some teams they have one person that's a really good sweeper. Some people like to see a broom down there.
Do you see it as a disadvantage to look at the line from the hack, though, from the hack side?
I think the one disadvantage is, and what I was finding with Caitlin was the way we swept, the way she sweeps and the way I sweep, you're behind the rock. So if the other person is the thrower person is watching,
kind of blocks the
trying
line.
to call line.
Yep.
Yeah, it's hard to call line because you're seeing a lot of legs.
Yep.
And that's where we found we were missing some shots. Whereas, if we could have been able to have someone in the house calling the line, but again, everyone's different. They sweep differently. They have different strengths. So that for our team, it made a big difference once we figured out what was going to work best for us.
And then,
mixed doubles is a real big feel game. Like it's instinctual. It's
a lot of trust.
Trust.
It's a lot of trust.
It's a lot of natural curling kind of ability, and you can't just say. And that's what I love about it. There's not like this perfect recipe for being a great mixed doubles team. You have to play to your strengths. You got to be able to communicate, and that's why I think it's such a special game, because in men's and women's curling, if you have really good sweepers and front end specialists, and you can really study the game and become a dominant team like some of the Asian teams and some of the Scottish teams have been doing.
Yep.
But in mixed doubles, you got to be
On your
real
game.
good natural curler, and you have to have some great dynamic with your teammate. And that's a lot of the time that makes a difference.
Even more so than in the team curling, I think having that kind of trust and dynamic with your partner as opposed to your team.
It's a lot easier to do that with one other person than three.
But it's all that more important, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, looks like there's only one game left, guys.
No.
Been a lot of blowouts tonight, eh?
Yeah.
Look at that. Look.
I think we're done with sheet 3 at this point, man. I'm going to take this pause in the moment here because we're interviewing Johnny Moe, and he seems like he wants to talk tonight, which is cool.
Sure, yeah.
This is the Madtown Doubledown brought to you by Leinenkugels.
Leinenkugels.
Currently, you're viewing an empty sheet, but it
We're
was
gonna
brought
fix
to you
it.
by TCS. And the games you just saw on sheet 4 were brought to you by Maple Tree Supper Club and Rockland Filmworks. So it looks like we have a little bit of a break going on right now, and I think we have to shut the stream down,
Sure.
at least in a little bit.
I just want to say thanks, guys.
No,
it's been a pleasure being on here. I really wanted to thank you guys for putting this on. I know we have a lot of people back home that tune in and love what the show you guys put on here. I know that we run a bonspiel back home, and having these local sponsors come out and whatever support us whatever way
Support
they
the
can.
sport, yeah.
And we've been hearing you guys say Leinenkugels and Toby's and all weekend. So guess what? We're drinking Leinenkugels.
And you're going to Toby's.
And we're going to Toby's. And as curlers, we like to support the sponsors.
You know what?
too.
You're not going to be unpleased by the Toby's experience.
So does that mean he's going to switch to an endgame broom?
Well, I don't know
Is
about
that a sponsor too?
Yeah, we're always doing this thing as well, you know.
I'll let you guys negotiate with my sponsor Goal Line about that. All right? But thanks for having me on, guys.
Hey, no,
It's been a
thank
treat, and-
Thank you, Johnny.
You bet. Anytime, guys.
Thank you.
Cheers. All right. Sorry if I talk too much, guys.
No, you're good.
You did fantastic. I'll talk to you in a second. All right, and I think that's going to conclude the broadcast, at least for now.
We got a sheet.
Never mind. We got
6.
Sheet 6 going on.
Oh, it's a 1-point game.
Never mind.
We got game, folks. Let's do it.
We got a 1-point game in the 6th end on sheet 6 here.
Gives a little bit to adjust to having the sheet 6 cameras ready.
I mean, we're
Seems
adjusted.
very-
What are you doing?
Well, I don't know. We don't have them up here.
Yeah,
Well,
we do.
Tim's never
Never
adjusted.
mind.
His headphones weren't on for that
Yeah,
comment.
no, I've been criticized and.
Yeah, I did
made
it while
fun
his
of
back
already
was
here,
turned.
so that's,
It's all
I mean,
good.
it's par for the course with us, I think.
We're friends.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty tight game. Obviously, yellow started up with a big end, and
Yikes.
then red went right back and got 3 back. So that's a nice looking game. A lot of time a team gets crushed when a 4-under gets put
Yeah.
on them right away.
Well, I mean, that's sort of the swings that can happen in this game. You getting 5 points isn't.
It's part of the excitement.
It happens.
That's part of the big mental aspect of like. I was talking with Matt earlier, and he said that like they were down by 3, and he's like, you can't ever get down on yourself. You just
No.
got to play the next end. You just got to try to make the next shot work, the next end work.
Keep your head in the game, and just wash it off.
You know, a big thanks to Johnny Moe for coming and talking with us. He definitely does not have to do that at
He
all.
does not,
He just
and-
enjoys the sport and enjoys.
He enjoys doing this, and I would not put it past him to join us for another game, either tonight or probably tomorrow.
Wonderful guy. I started with a family team. Tim over to my left right now.
Yep.
started on my team when I was curling with my father.
11 years ago.
Such a great time. Such a great time. And this sport just develops relationships. And
For sure.
They never go away. They never go away. It's one of the things I love about the sport.
For good or bad.
Yeah, I could say that about Tim myself.
Yeah, I mean,
all right.
Whoa, you're making it personal. I just meant in general. Wow. Dial it down.
Red dropping one right on the button.
Bam.
Usually you want to get those a little bit closer, but this time, it's the Wheeler, and we got Claire Moores and Lance Wheeler up shooting that, and just followed down here for the 7th end in order to start this thing off.
They're shooting pretty hard. I think they might be a little light.
A little heavy. Looks like we're swinging. Or no, it's sheet number 5 I'm looking at there.
No, sheet 6 was definitely heavy.
You're right. I was looking at.
Sorry, folks, we're kind of eyeballing this one as we can.
We had to
right
switch
now.
camera views, so we're a little off kilter, but we're getting it dialed in here.
We're looking at 2 different sheets. I was calling 5. You were calling 6.
No.
I think we're all on 6 now, though, right?
6 right now is what we were calling. Yep, we got them both on there.
This looks like a great shot coming in for Red here.
Oh, look at that.
Nice shot.
That's a beaut.
Yep, sitting 1 and 2. One's still hanging out a little bit, though.
You're going to spit that one off, but Red's going to be sitting 1, and they're up big in this game. So I think they're happy with that shot.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, scoring 3 in the last end to go up 4 is a big swing.
This is also one of the versions of curling, too, that, you get to the later ends, and you can't just throw them away. You can't just throw guards out,
You only get 5.
You only get 5.
Mm-hmm.
Which is,
Oh,
like a 35% less stones than you get in 4-on-4.
That is. It's good mathematics you did there, Seth.
What do you guys see here? Does it look like they're going to try to shoot that guard straight back?
Nope,
they're
going
gonna
to
peel
peel
it.
that thing off.
Go bye-bye.
Yep.
They may try like a near peel where if they glance that one and make it go, it's fine. But I think peeling that guard is the primary objective.
Yep.
Anything else is kind of icing on the cake.
Anything to take all those yellow, really? Anything to take those yellow rocks off the ice is what you want right at this point in time. Less they have the ability to score, the better. Knocking their own out doesn't do anything.
Well, they got them all, and they left a guard.
Oh, that's ideal. That is ideal.
It's a great shot.
I don't think great covers it.
And there's a curling joke in there somewhere.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm trying to work on it.
That was definitely the best you could ask for ever from what just happened.
Yeah, you got the whole forefoot open, the buttons open.
Let's see what they're doing here. It looks like they're probably trying to play around that guard still.
I mean,
and on top.
I feel like frozen on that back one is not bad, being their lead.
Sitting top 4, I don't think is a bad idea.
No, sitting top 4 is fine, but they don't even need that. Sitting back 4 is actually.
He's a little bit outside.
Oh
and we're gonna race
man,
through.
that is terrible
Nice.
for Red.
Door
Here's the
is
thing,
wide
that
open for
sheet
yellow now.
6 ice.
No.
I don't know if that's pulling it here because we've been scraping it between every round of this thing, but that wall may have pulled it in at least a little bit.
It pulled a Tim?
Pulled it. Well, I mean, pulling a Tim, yeah, is absolutely shooting outside.
That's a phrase.
That's a Tim thing.
We've curled together for 10 years.
Yeah.
That's a Tim shot.
Yeah, Tim shot.
Yeah.
Outside.
Is that when you wore the cape?
I mean, when I wear the cape, usually I'm spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the
can't go wrong.
when I skip in the cape, that's when its superpowers become seen.
All right, so where's yellow want to go here? I would think top 8.
Ingen's close is in there right now, right in the front.
You got to get to center.
You have to. He has to. Got to get it on.
Touching.
All right,
there you go,
that's
full 12.
There you go.
I feel like that's a hair higher than maybe you wanted, but
That's a tie game right there, folks. So, I mean, if this game were to stay where it's at,
We don't get a tie at the end.
Ty's not here this weekend.
Ty is not here this weekend.
Big commentator last year.
Yep. He definitely helped us a lot. Did a lot of shifts of doing this and is definitely super knowledgeable. Shout out to Ty.
Helping someone get married, apparently.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's listening at the moment, too. Yeah.
he could be.
No, he hates us.
By the way, Ty, our kickball game next week is canceled.
Yeah. Tim, Ty, and I all play on the same kickball team together, so.
And weird sports.
Yep.
Yeah, we all get together.
Hey, you know what? We're watching adult people throw rocks down ice right now, so yes.
Where we go to another team sponsor.
Oh, we can.
After kickball.
Slice's Bar and Grill. We go there after every game.
After every game. Sometimes before and after.
Most of the times before and after.
So that's a pretty detrimental shot. Great shot by Red.
So that's great. That's fantastic.
It's
And
gonna
that's
be-
what I mean. Like, because being back down on there, even if you try to get rid of that red, you're losing your back ones. You're losing points.
Yeah. You're losing points. There's real no way to hit that hard. You're gonna knock a couple of your yellows out. That's just that nice corner freeze on that back yellow.
On the half open side. Yep.
Yeah. So you can hit it, but you're gonna lose some of the points you need in order to stay in the game.
So you got to try to just come down on it and set up a future shot, and you're running out of shots in this end.
Yep, I agree.
That's what he's doing. He's trying to come down on it. Not curling up as much as I think they were hoping.
That's not what he wanted.
That's a fairly straightforward hit and roll there with a lightweight take.
For Red? Yeah, I agree. You hit the inside, just towards that center side of that yellow rock. You flop in a little bit.
And if they roll over to just a hair the other side of center, yellow's not going to have much they can do at all.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, this is a tough setup for yellow. Anytime you're at this point in the game and you're down 4, even 3 or 2.
You got to get a couple here because then you're hoping to steal 2 at that point just to tie it up and play it extra.
That's it. You're just trying to get closer. It's just getting closer to make sure you're still in the game. So they got to get that red rock out of there somehow. Or somehow get a freeze by yellow and get 1 and 2.
It's a really tough. I mean, that's sort of an outdraw or an outturn they're maybe taking at this.
I'm a little unsure why Red is discussing this shot for so long right now, honestly. While we are watching the last sheet currently on the ice, I would like to just give a shout out to our ice team, our ice makers this weekend. They're doing a fantastic job. We heard one thing over the mic the last game where the guy was like, "I can't believe how much it's curling," which I think is probably that's a good thing. That's
perfect.
Fine. So
good, we're doing what we're supposed to do.
So just a big shout out to them for that dedication. There's a lot of hours outside of this to go into that maybe you don't realize. So big thanks to them.
I love the idea that Croyn Nürnberger's out there right now. Almost made the Olympics last year. Yep. Right there. He's the guy out there.
A known competitive, second in the U.S. for years.
In mixed double territory. Also one of the people that helped create this event and actually helped start the mixed doubles events here at Madison. He's the guy out there right now pebbling every sheet. So it's a volunteer club. There he is.
Yeah, and if nobody knows how the history of this whole thing started, it was a conversation after a league night once with Steve Track, myself, and Croy, being, hey, we should really bring that spiel back because we went for a year without having it. It was always club teams, and we expanded it to this, and here's what we got. I'm really, really happy and very, very fulfilled by what we're doing right now.
I don't know if they've made a decision yet over there on
They're
sheet
still thinking
six,
about it. That's for sure.
They must have plenty of time to spare.
Well, on this one, you might look at this in that Red's going to score 2. If they do, that's probably going to be game for them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. Use your time where you need it.
And, yeah, I mean, 5 ends don't come very often in mixed doubles, that's for sure.
We're just waiting here on the edge of our seats to see what's going to happen.
Here it comes.
Yeah, we get a bunch of weight on this one, too.
That's a lot of weight.
So it looks like she might be trying to hit that outside edge of that red on the forefoot, try and knock them both. And she got him.
Okay.
Wow.
She got him.
All right.
Woo!
Now yellow is scoring 2 here.
That is impressive. What a great shot. I mean,
That
that's
is probably
the
a
only
best
way.
case shot.
That is the only way they're staying in this game at this point in time. What?
Talk about throwing a Hail Mary and it paying off.
Yeah, that's 2 more for yellow here. And we
Yeah.
got a game that can be a game again.
It's all just geometry, and when you're looking at curling, you're looking at shots that are going to have, what can do more damage, what can do less damage.
Right.
You're looking at it all. In this case, it didn't matter. She needed to make that shot.
It was an all or nothing shot.
She
all or
hits
nothing.
2 degrees difference off of that shot, and there's nothing they would have in their back pocket. It'd
Yeah,
be
we were
over.
talking about millimeters in the last.
Yeah.
It's literally like a millimeter over, which
Right.
a lot of people in America maybe don't realize. That's like fractions of a fraction of an inch.
It's true. It's totally true. I mean, it's just this almost imperceptible, paper-thin distance where this 44-pound rock needs to hit this 44-pound rock, and it's nothing. I mean, it's just
Within the width of a hair.
within the width of a hair. And that's what just happened right there. That was an incredible shot. It kept him in the game. I honestly thought this thing was over.
But
It's
only
not.
being down by 2, it's very feasible to steal 2 here and play an extra. And if you steal 2 once, you can definitely do it again.
Yep. It really is. And I don't want to discount like that shot. They need to look at the geometry of the top rock they hit, the one that one hit, and the 2 ones after that. That was 4 different rocks
That was
they
fantastic.
had to move, and that was great.
I just like to point out that we do have a power play on
Power
this
play.
end. I don't have the app that Tim does, but power play. Power play. So as you can see, instead of on the center line, our rocks are placed to the side, and you can choose which side you want, left or right. Either one is fair game. They just both have to be on the same side. Yellow chose to kind of ignore that and draw a center on their first one. So red is trying to draw in 2 here. It's seeming a little spicier than maybe they want, but no, it's settling down nice.
Yep. So tick.
So I know it looks like they're only sitting second and third right now, but it's all to set up things in the future. They got to score a couple here, so, or prevent yellow from scoring a couple actually.
Yeah, that's really what Red's doing. In this game, at this point in the game, it's just stopping the other team from getting too many points. That's what it comes down to. So they're going to play a very defensive game. They're not going to be putting up a lot of guards. They want to make sure that they're removing as many yellow rocks as they can.
In a power play scenario like that, it's a little bit. I feel like it's a little bit different, in that you wait until that first shot, you can start taking things out. At least from the red perspective, start everything that's yellow off the ice.
Yep.
As soon as you can.
Just don't let them have the rocks they need in play to have a chance to win the game.
Yep.
But you still have to make your shots. If
You
you
still
miss
do.
one, you give them an opportunity, and if they take advantage of it, you find yourself chasing all of a sudden.
It's really incredible. And, when you're in the game and you think, I'm up 4, it's the last end, there's no way they can beat me. They've got no more than 1 point. You're wrong. If you're playing hits and you have your lead or your second or your third, wherever it is, they missed that hit, and they're sitting 1-2, you had one that was sitting closer that they just weren't aiming at that point in time, they can pick that one off on the rings. And if they got 2 or 3 other ones sitting around, suddenly now they're sitting 4 because you missed that shot. And
5-point swing in one shot.
It just flips on you so fast. And your heart sinks, and that's not just you, it's the whole team. And you've got to keep the whole team focused to be able to make that next shot, to be able to freeze back down to one of theirs and try to make sure that you're doing everything you can to outcount as many as
or
of
make
theirs
that
as you
perfect
can.
draw or that perfect hack weight come around to bump them just back far enough.
Right, and everything there's perfect. But that's
speaking of which, we're coming in on the fish show, which is this is the first one they could actually take out on. And so yellow, being the team that's behind right now, is probably going to start scoring soon. And we're going to see a bunch of red takeouts here in a little bit.
So they're trying to dead bury this right now, the side of the 4. Maybe biting button. Sorry.
Yeah, pretty good right around that,
and
that guard. Yeah,
that's about as much as you can ask for. They're biting the tee, but on top of it, not sitting behind. And this one here, red really doesn't care if they get the shot rock or if they get that guard. Either one is a win for them.
Any rock you can hit out of here is great.
The only thing they can't do is just flash it.
Yep.
Which, even at this level, still happens. So you got to make your shots.
Looks like he's definitely going to get at least one of them. We're going to peel that.
Looks like he's got the shot rock.
No.
Oh, it ticked off the guard.
Did a tick on that.
Oh, wow.
We got a game.
Now things are a little different here.
And here's where yellow needs to take a deep breath. And don't get too excited and just execute their shot.
You still have exposed rocks, Red can still come back and hit any one of your rocks off the ice.
So where do you think is best to sit right here for yellow? I mean, they need 2 minimum.
I would say probably top 8, but full, beating out that one that's red. That's number 2 at the moment. However, if you duck that one behind, they still don't really have a shot at the center without it being exposed.
So you're coming
come
around
that. As long as you're touching the 4 foot, maybe?
If you just have that slight Christmas story to them.
Yeah.
She's going around the outside on this one too.
This is way too hot.
And outside. Ooh.
They really needed to. I think they were planning to freeze.
They need to take this back now then.
But still sit full late. They might still sit there.
Yeah.
Which they're going to.
Right
so
there.
for number 2.
That was a good adjustment on their part.
It was a very good adjustment.
It's not awful. That was that side. I think their shot was to freeze on their yellow. That's what I think.
Freeze is okay as long as it's nose. You just don't want to hang out where they have that
if you're on
opportunity
a corner,
to
it would
slash
have been
them.
awful.
Yeah.
It would have been awful for them. But I think their shot was to freeze it. Just looking at what they were doing.
So now Red's calling a freeze on shot rock.
And I told Shelly and Dad. Oh, we can watching the I was looking at Kathy last night, and yes. 2 games, we're gone.
And here it comes.
Let's see. Initially, I think it looks a little hot, but he's sweeping it.
Oh, I think he was in narrow, maybe.
Yeah, it looks narrow. That's on the guard.
No, they're still by
he's
it.
around it.
Boom.
And right off, and...
Shot, but exposed.
Yeah, really exposed. I don't know if that's the best shot for them right there. That shows how buried that shot was.
Millimeters is what this game is all about.
If yellow can get a hit and roll to bite 4 still.
Oh, they're in the game if that happens.
See, Claire Moore actually lining up for this.
I don't see just hitting red.
We're gonna do this NFL style from here on out, I think.
Do we have a marker?
Hold on. Well, I mean, if we had the
picture page,
had to be able to do that, but
it is picture page.
There you go. Moore's from the hack.
And we've got a solid release
Shoots.
here. Looks like lots of weight.
Here he comes.
Here we come.
We're sweeping.
Sweeping real hard.
Sweeping real hard.
Sweeping hard.
She's
Yeah.
all over it.
Yeah. If they don't get in the end
There she
zone, then they
comes.
can't win.
Oh, easy, but yes,
Oh.
still going,
Whoa, whoa,
encouraging it, and rolling the. Oh, did not get the roll they wanted.
Man.
They really needed to get off that and let that curl up a little more.
Still one more shot for red here.
I don't know if that was just a.
Oof, that's a big hit for yellow.
Yep.
I don't know.
If they would have stayed off that, it rolls a little more to the outside, potentially all the way over to the other reds.
Going either way.
On the
Yeah,
edge, and it
either
could
way.
have frozen against the reds that are on
Either
the side.
that, or if they get off it, it could have rolled over the other direction and blocking their own yellows.
Anywhere but there.
Now it's just an open hit.
Center spot in the 4-foot is not a good place to be. However, we have seen some interesting shots the past couple of them here, so we'll see what happens here.
All right, we have the extra person sweeping
from the hack.
Out of the hack.
There's a release.
Firm release.
Yeah, plenty of weight.
Just cleaning, not even cleaning, right off it.
Yeah, he's all off. He's behind the stone.
Oh, he doesn't want to touch this. He's scared of it.
Oh no, this might be inside.
Oh no, there. Oh, it caught some. It went. Oh wow.
No, there we go. And red pulls
And
this one out.
handshakes.
Okay.
Lee Adam, Seth, fantastic calling this with you guys.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's a good afternoon.
Good time talking with you guys. Good watching some good, nice curling. Let's just make a shout out to our sponsors once again. Our sheet sponsor on our original game was TCS. Big shout out to them. Thank you very much. And our team sponsors for our original teams we were watching were Maple Tree Supper Club. Supper clubs are a big thing in Wisconsin. Big fans of them.
God, they're amazing.
And the other team, Rockland Filmworks. Big thank you to them as well. And Leinenkugels, without you, we could not make this happen. Thank you so much for your beer and your support of our club and this sport and this event. Thank you so much. And signing off, we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, this is Carla with TCS. Since 1983, TCS has been making controls and energy management systems for commercial buildings. And with our new Wi-Fi Ubiquistat, you will save time and money on both commissioning and installation costs. To find out more, just give us a call. It's the genius of simple.